Well, hello everyone. Happy Monday and welcome to Lisa Horton Crafts. I'm Sheryl and I will be here today sharing some of Lisa's fantastic products. I know it's been a wonderful full day of new products that Lisa has been showing over on Hobbycraft TV, and I hope that you all have had a chance to see some of those. Oops, got my sorry about that. I got my phone doing double duty here. Let me fix that. Okay, let me go back. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. But I do have oh, what's going on with my phone? Okay, there we go. I do have several of Lisa's or a couple of Lisa's new products. If you haven't had a chance, like I haven't had a chance to watch Hobbycraft TV, the shows that Lisa had today, I'm planning to go back and watch them this afternoon when I get done with my live. It's evening for most of you on the other side of the ocean, but thank you for being here. I've got some of my inks. I've got from last year's limited holiday edition, Merry Mistletoe and Arctic Frost. And I have Tranquil Waters. These are all matte blending inks that I'm going to be using today. And then I've got, I have a lot of products because I need to explain. I started out, I wanted to use the mini tags and I wanted to use the layered wildflowers because I'm on a mission to use products that I haven't used in a while or at all. And so that's how we started with these two. So I've got the layered wildflowers and I'm going to use one flower. I'm going to use this flower from these cutting dies. And then I wanted to use something new. So I have the mini tags. This is such a great set. I love it. So we're going to be using the stencils and the die for our card today. And then I have my fundamentals, of course, that I'm using for my background. I'm using the nested squares, and I'll be using the two largest squares from this die set. And my favorite of all, my Wishing You Well craft stamps and dies. So this is, I'm using this for my sentiment. And another of my favorites is the padded quilt 3D embossing folder. So these are all the products that I have. And I'm sure most of you have all of this in your stash. And if you haven't gotten these mini tags yet, go get them. You're going to need them in your stash because they are really adorable. So those are the products that we're going to be using. And then let me move these over here to the side. And here is the project that I made. Let's see who's what. Hi, Valerie and Lorraine. Joanne Smith, how are you? Trudy, how are you? Welcome. Hi, Rebecca, how are you? Hi, Donna. And oh, no ads, Lorraine. Woohoo! Very good. And hi, Lisa. So this is the card that I made. It's a really simple. I did a top fold this time on the square card, but I used some metallic cardstock. And here's my flowers. Look at that adorable little mini tag. It's so cute. And my sentiment. And then I did the envelope the same with I stenciled on one of the flowers from the mini tag and the folder. So that's the project that I'm going to share with you today. And we'll move that out and we'll go ahead and get started. I did do homework, thankfully. I was able to get my homework done this week, so I've got a lot more done ahead of time. So let me walk through what I have done already, and then we will go to complete the parts that haven't been done yet. So this is my square card. I just embossed the front of the card base, and then I did cut another piece of white card and then tacked on my tag on for the inside. And then for the outside of my envelope, I did it just like I did my sample. I embossed the flap and then stenciled on another one of those beautiful florals in the mini tag set. And then I did some die cutting. to help speed things up. So these are the two largest fundamental squares. This one I cut out of rose metallic cardstock, and this one I cut from the padded quilt. So the two largest ones. And then here's my sentiment that I inked up using Tranquil Waters ink. And I put another layer, a blank layer behind it to give it a little more strength. And that's my sentiment. So we're going to start with putting together our flower. I did die cut the flower from the, let me find the layered wildflowers. And I die cut the flower part in white cardstock. And then I did these flower center and the stems in the metallic. So we're going to ink these pieces up, and then here are my metallic pieces. We'll just put those off to the side, and we'll be ready to get going. And then we'll stencil our wildflowers. So that's kind of how I'm thinking we're going to move through the project today. And so let me get my Ultimate 2. Have to have this. And these are back in stock here in the States. I know at least a scrapbook, they were out of stock for quite a while. So I want to go ahead and ink up my flowers. And I got enough ink on my mat. I don't want to put any more. I had a little piece of cut tacky mat, one of my older tacky mats that I just cut up. So I'm going to use that to ink on so I don't have to add additional ink to my already over inked tacky mat. And so we're going to ink these using the matte blending inks. I've got Artic Frost and Merry Mistletoe. So I'm going to start with Artic Frost on these, and I'm just going to ink these. I actually need, let me get my other Artic Frost brush. I don't know where I put it though. Let's see, I had it. Here it is. Okay. There, this will be a little bit better. Easier to get more ink down on there. So for this layer, I'm not really doing any kind of shading or anything, just getting a nice coating on to these petals. I got something on my cardstock there. We'll let it be. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing with this one. And then I want that lower one to be a darker blue so that it's not both the same color. So I'm going to add to that one, I'm going to add some Tranquil Waters. And boy, I'm telling you, I'm doing great with my brushes. I've managed to lose them all. Here it is. I put them away and I caught myself getting them out. That was not my intent. So we're coming in now with Tranquil Waters on the bigger of the petals to just darken that up some. So we'll have two different colors. But I wanted to kind of keep that Arctic Frost underneath it just a bit. And then I'll put a little bit of this Tranquil Waters on the center of this petal. And that's really okay. And then for these little centers, I'm going to use Merry Mistletoe. And just make them nice and green. Okay. And so that's all I wish I could figure out what this is on my flower petal on the card. Maybe I got something. I don't know. Maybe it's just a defective piece of card. Okay, we're going to leave it there before I ruin it. So that is all we need to do to ink our flower, and then we can start putting it together. So take these off. And I just insist on doing these little teeny pieces every live, and I get to play chase the pieces as we go. So I'm going to move my Ultimate out of the way for just a second, and then we'll put this flower together, and then we will go on to our stencils. So what I want to do, try and get my pieces moved around here the way that I need them. Okay. And so for this one, I'm just going to layer it like that. Yeah. Okay. So I'll put some glue, just a little dot, and add this piece. There we go. Like so. And then I'm going to put some glue. I want this to go this way because that's the angle that I want to use for my flower stem. And I'll put some glue on the tip here. And then add this piece to it. And like that. And then I'm going to glue these pieces and put a tip of glue onto this piece and put in the flower center. There we go. And then on the tip of the flower center, I'll put some more glue so we can add the other piece to it. Try and get that piece evened up. And then I'll put a spot of glue here in the flower and pick this up. Here we go. And put it onto our flower. We're just going to let that kind of sit there. And I'm going to put the leaf on onto the flower stem a little bit later. So we'll move that off to the side, and then we'll bring in our stencils. Okay, there we go. So bring in the Ultimate 2, get it back in, and then get my layering stencils. I got a piece of cardstock here that I'm going to obviously cut down before I do. Now, these stencils, I really like them because they come with the dies. So if you want to just stencil and die cut, you can. And then the embossing folder has the dies embedded in it. So those are what I'm going to be using to actually cut. But I just thought that was really a great little perk for people that would like to stencil and die cut. If you can't afford to do both, you can get the stencils and then you can still die cut. And then when you have more money, you can go back and get the embossing folder. I'm going to go ahead and get it out now too, so you can see. I'm sure if you've watched Hobbycraft, you've seen all of these already, but I just love this. Isn't that fantastic? The die is built into the folder. So, and you cut all 6 at one time. So that's really fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the stenciling. And there are 6 stencils here. And we'll start with the first stencil. And I'm just going to use blue and green on these. Yeah, this little tag set is just, it's the best. It's so cute. And I'm going to bring in some tape here. Since my paper is so big, I don't want my stencil flopping around. And then for the first layer, I'm just going to use Tranquil Waters. Just I'll go with what's on my brush first. I might not even need to ink it up because I just want a really light color on there. I don't want a lot. Yeah, there's plenty enough ink on this brush still. And I'm so excited. My Pro Blend brushes and my new inks are on their way. I ordered them last week. I had to chuckle. There's a couple people that we both posted that the products were available here in the US at Scrapbook, but we waited to make sure we had our orders in first. So we did that. Okay, so that's all we need for stencil number 1. So we just got a little light blue down. And for stencil number 2, we're working on the leaves. And I'm going to use Merry Mistletoe for my leaves. And I'm just coloring them in. Using a little teeny brush for this one. So what do you guys think of the new products that launched on Hobby Maker? What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to see. Oh, they're talking about Christmas. Oh, okay. So I'm just coloring these leaves in. Some of the tips I'm trying to make them a little bit darker, but it doesn't really matter that much because they're so teeny. So cute. I just love these. You love it all, but you're, yes, Fettuccine, I know what you're saying. I said I'm retired, but I have a little part-time job, and I had lunch with my boss just before um, I prepped to go live today, and I told her, I said, I need to pick up some more hours. We've got new products launching on Lisa Horton, and she just chuckled. She laughed. She thinks I'm hopeless cause when it comes to Lisa Horton Crafts, and I am. I feel like I want everything because it's always so cute. And I always think, oh, maybe I'll do without that. And then I'll see Lisa create something. It's just like, well, so much for that idea. I got to have that too. So many wonderful new products. And I'm holding down this one piece. I was not paying attention when I cleaned my stencil and I actually bent it. I'm really upset about that. So I'm just holding this piece down to make sure that the ink is going where I want it. But you're not going to have to do that because you won't be silly and bend your stencil like I did. Oh, the kit. Yes, that kit is gorgeous. I totally agree, Joanne. Okay, let's see. That's stencil number 2. We're on to stencil number 3, still adding leaves to all of our tags. So I'm continuing on with my Merry Mistletoe. These things are so cute. I'll be using these a lot because there's so many ways to use them. I'm trying to get color everywhere. And we'll do these over here. And that'll be it for this stencil. It goes really quickly. If you use a regular brush instead of this little baby brush, it'll go even faster. And I just wanted to use a smaller brush because I didn't want the leaves to all be solid. So that's why I opted for the little brush. So there are our leaves. And now we'll start with our flowers. And these are so cute. Oh my gosh. And I'm gonna have blue flowers. So we're coming in with Artic Frost. And they're just so cute. I'm just putting the color in the center of these little flowers and just carrying it out. It's going to be all pretty much looking the same, but a little bit darker, I guess, on the edges. I want them a little bit darker than the blue that's already down there. So I wanted to show up. And these are just going to be pretty much solid all around. So cute. I went yesterday with my son and daughter-in-law. We went to a brunch they go there a lot. I've never been there. They had a brunch event, which was really kind of interesting. They served 4 courses, and with each course, they had a different cocktail to complement the course. And so, needless to say, I was pretty happy when I left out of there. Let's see, where's my Artic Frost? It was a good time. We had a good time together, though. It's very nice. My intent was to do a little bit around the house after I got back, and that didn't happen. I was much too merry for any house cleaning. Yes, it was really great. The four courses were wonderful stuff. I probably never would have ordered on my own, but it was really really tasty. So that's it for stencil number 4, and then stencil number 5. More, we're doing some leaves and some petals. So let me go ahead and do this petals first. Use this one, I think. And we'll do these, putting little accents on. And then the rest are Merry Mistletoe. I just can't with how cute these are. I'm telling you. Just adorable. And we've got one more leaf over here. I think that's about it on that stencil. And then stencil number 6, we're working on the flower centers and some accents. So let me do the accents first, since I still got my green ink out. This, trying to make sure I don't go over that flower bud there. And then our flower centers, and we'll be done. I'll use, I think I'll use, yeah, I'll use Tranquil Waters, I think, for the flower center. And put a little accent on this one. And oh, we got to do these too. Don't want to forget these. So cute and dainty. They're just the cutest things. Okay, so that's it for our flowers. It's so pretty and easy. That's why I love Lisa's products so much. They're easy and doesn't take a lot. And I'm going to cut this down just a little bit so that I can put it into my embossing folder, because I want it to be able to fit through my machine. And then move this out of the way. Bring in my embossing folder and just put these in here and line them up. Which I think I cut enough off the top. Yes, I did. And so just get these lined up here. And this one, try and look at all of them to make sure that nothing's misaligned. Green one, I could have put more color on that that part of the stencil, but it's okay. You know what? I need to trim just a wee bit off of this top. I'm a little bit too close. Okay. There. That should be better. And it is. I've got some room to maneuver now. I'm trying to hold this so you can see and I can see, which I'm not doing a very good job of that. I think I got it now. Okay, and then I'm going to run this through. I'm only going to use the adapter plate for this one, the gray adapter plate. I think it's D. Yeah, this one. I'm only using this plate and I'm running it through my embossing machine right now. Okay. And then we should get all of these coming out. Yeah. So, oh, look, some of them have, I had die cut some copper foil with these earlier, and some of them have a copper center in the hole because I didn't even think to check and make sure those pieces were out. There we go. All right, look at all these cute little, uh-oh, I didn't cut that one. What did I do? Let me see. There. Okay, I did something up here. There we go. Okay. So we have all these cute little pieces, and we're going to use, I think I'll use this one for the card, the same way that I did for my sample. But look at how cute. Aren't these just adorable? And you could do, oh, I'm thinking pinks and purples, all different colors. It would just be so pretty. And you could even do different colors on the same thing, but for the sake of time, I said we'll just do all the same colors. So I think I'm only going to need this one. So I'll move the rest of these out of the way and get my packaging moved for the moment. And let's bring back in our pieces and parts. So clean up my mess. I'm sorry, being a little messy Mary today. Okay. All right. So Now we have, so what I want to do first, I think, is go ahead and put these two pieces onto my card front. And this is a top folding that I'm going to do. So I want this to go on this way. And we'll put this, I guess, like that. So I'll put that down first, and then we will add our flower. So let me find my tape. I'm missing so much fun conversation, but let me keep going. I'm so nosy. I can't help it. I want to be a part of everything. Okay, so there's that piece, and then we'll go ahead and do the same thing here. We'll ink up, tape up this piece and put it kind of like that. Make sure I don't want that to be too crooked. Okay. And then we can go ahead and work on our flowers. So the one thing that I did with the flower, I put it through the hole on this. So it'll kind of go, I want this piece to hang over this way. So kind of go like that. So, and I think what I'll do is, let me see. Now I can see where I want my leaf to go. And then I'll put the leaf on and then I'll glue it down. So I want the leaf right about there. Okay. Take this off of here. And I know I want the leaf. Well, I want the leaf right about there. So we'll put some glue on there. Oops, that's way more than I need. And we'll add that on there. Hold that for a minute or two till it catches. Shucks, stuck to my finger. That's not what I want. I want you to stick to each other, not my finger. Just hold that for a minute. I just want to make sure it wasn't gluing down too. And then I'll put some glue on the back here. I'm not going to glue all the way to the end because I might want to trim a piece of that. I'll have to see first. Stick a little glue there. And put that down. I think I'll be okay. Oh, I don't think I'm going to have to trim it. Okay. So we're going to put that down. And I'm going to put a little piece of foam square behind that flower, the head of the flower. It'll just pop up a little like that. And then for my sentiment, we'll put it on like this. And this one is a little bit different. So I put some foam tape on the back of this because on my sample it was further over, and it doesn't need to be further over now, so I'm going to put some foam tape on the other part of it so it'll sit evenly onto my card front. So just I'll do 2 pieces on this back of the sentiment. And these sentiments are the best. Get them in your card if you don't have them already. They're a big seller. Okay. And I just don't like missing out. Okay. Come off of there. There we go. All right. And so then the next to the last thing is to put our sentiment. I'm going to lift this up so I can make sure that it's not terribly crooked. There we go. And you can leave it like that. But of course, you know, I need to stick some kind of gem somewhere. That's just me. If I don't have a gem on it, I feel like I haven't finished. So I'm going to put some pearls. Let's do 3. I'll do, is this the size? Yeah, I'll do this size here, right where that is, and then I'll do one little one on either side. And this is totally, if you don't like the pearls, totally optional. Uh-oh, that one is not straight. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so there is today's card. I did on this one go ahead and put the tag on the center, on the inside of it. And we have our envelope to coordinate. And that is today's completed project. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you like the card. Be sure to check out Paula tomorrow. She's going to be live. And then, of course, we have Lisa on Friday again. And I think there's a hobby craft day in there in between. So be sure to check out Lisa Horton Crafts Facebook page, her official page, and you'll be able to see the schedule and all of the fantastic things that are coming up this week. But I thank you so much for your time. I'm glad you're here, and I hope that you have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.